So when you go to the AWS, these are the services basically we are trying to covering about in AWS. In AWS, we are trying to discussing about VPC, EC2, elastic load balances, auto scaling, S3, IAM, RDS, DynamoDB, Route 53, SNS. So this all these things we are trying to discussing about in the AWS cloud computing and the CP. So once we have done with this, this will covering about when we're discussing about Kubernetes. Okay. And when you just go to the next session is nothing but the next sessions. Because before you are going to jump into the DevOps tools, the everyone should learning about the DevOps tools. So Linux commands are very, very important. You take any of the DevOps tools, you take Kubernetes, you take Docker, you take Ansible, you take Terraform, you take any of the tool which you want to learn, all the tools are going to work on the command line interfaces. That is the reason learning commands is very important. See, we are not going to cover Linux in admin level. We're going to cover how much required to become a DevOps in the net. So that is what we're going to covering about Linux sessions. So once we have done with the Linux sessions, then we'll start discussing about DevOps tools. So when we start with the DevOps tools, from where we need to start? That's let me just going to explain the flow it is. See, first we have to discussing about Git and GitHub. Okay. So when so discussing about Git and GitHub, then we are trying to discussing about the code quality tool. It is called as SonarQube server. After that, we are going to discussing about how we can able to build application with help of the Maven. After that, we are trying to discussing about the Nexus, how we can able to push the artifacts with help of the Nexus repository. So in order to create a CI pipeline, continuous integration pipeline here, we'll start discussing with the Jenkins. See, whenever you done with any of the tool, after that, immediately we'll try to see about how to integrate the Jenkins, how we can able to implement the CI/CD pipelines. So once we have done with this set of tools, then we're going to start with the Docker and Kubernetes. See, Docker and Kubernetes will take 1 month time to discussing about each and every concept, because here we had to mention the more time it is. Because if we don't learn properly the Docker Kubernetes, we can't able to crack any of the interview. So we'll take 1 month or more than 1 month, more than 25 sessions we require to learning about Docker and Kubernetes. So once we have done with the Docker and Kubernetes, we'll see about how we can able to deploy the applications to the Jenkins CI/CD pipelines. So once we have done with this Docker and Kubernetes, after that we'll try to discussing about how to perform the monitoring it is. So monitoring is very important. So here we are going to discussing about the Prometheus and Grafana it is. Let's see how we can able to integrate with help of the Jenkins again. So whenever you're trying to learning about each and every tool that we are trying to discussing about how we are trying to integrating with the Jenkins, how we can able to create dashboards, everything. So once we have done with this monitoring part, then we'll see about the how we can able to perform the configuration management. It is nothing but Ansible. Let's try to understanding about what is Ansible and how we can write the AML files. Now, here also we'll discussing about Ansible plus Jenkins, how we can able to perform the configuration management using Jenkins. So after that, we'll be go to here and we'll try to discussing about the Terraform it is. So let's try to understanding about how Terraform we have to use, how we can able to set up the infrastructure. So here we have to spend time to focusing on the Terraform. So it may take the 10 sessions to make you understanding about how to write Terraform files, how to define the variables, how we can use the modules, how we can use the copy that templates will be having, how we are trying to use the template, that everything we're discussing about. So this is a plan we are trying to executing on this particular regular sessions. It is all about it. See, once we have done with this, we'll start and going to tell you that how to prepare for the interviews and how to crack the interviews, what is a placement procedure, everything you'll understanding about once we have done with this Terraform it is. Because if you want to crack the interviews, these tools are very important. If we go to anywhere, go to Docker and Kubernetes. See, once we have done with this now, we'll try to discussing about Azure DevOps as well. In Azure DevOps, I'll show you that how we can able to create the CI/CD pipelines by using the repos. Okay, where exactly you're going to store your code. After that, we'll discussing about the pipelines, how we can able to create the pipelines and Azure pipelines. See, once you learn this, all the tools, Azure DevOps is very easy. I'll tell you how it is easy, how we can write the YAML files. So because by this time you are going to have the familiar, you're going to get handy of the how to write all the YAML files, so that we don't need to worry about the how we can able to write the pipelines. Because in Azure DevOps, we'll write the YAML files pipelines, but when you go to the Jenkins, we'll write the Groovy scripting pipelines or creative scripting pipelines. So that is the difference between Jenkins and Azure DevOps. So that you're going to get a complete idea about how to work on Azure DevOps, how to work on AWS DevOps, how to work on the generic DevOps. So that is the complete picture you're going to get, so that we can able to crack into this the very clear. So once we have done with the Docker and Kubernetes, so these tools are very important: Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins, and Terraform, and it will take the Ansible. See, these tools are very, very important. Yesterday also, I'll show you the some of the job description. You look at there are the many organization looking for the Docker, Kubernetes, and CI/CD tools. It is the moment when you're going to join as a DevOps engineer, your job is going to start with the Jenkins. So that is what the complete plan. This is I will take 3 months plus I will take to complete the complete code. So anyone still it is not registered with us or not enrolled, our admin team is going to reach out to you guys today, and they'll help you about the all the details, the curriculum, everything. And if in case if you have any questions, I hope I have my number with everyone. You guys can contact us so that I can able to help you about it. So we are not going to compromise the duration. Definitely will take the more than 3 months it is. Okay. This is just I just wanted to give heads up how this I would say how we are trying to complete these codes, and what is the procedure, and how we are trying to get to become a DevOps engineer. See, whenever you want to become a DevOps engineer, the first thing we require is dedication and hard work. It is not about like other technologies which you are learning in this particular industry. It is completely different. It has a lot of scope. We have to understanding about the how to crack the interviews, because for DevOps we'll be having a good competition. When you want to crack the interview, you have to be different from others. If you want to be different from others, we have to learn this properly. It is. I'll guide you. I'll mentoring you how actually you have to learn each and every step guide, like because I have been in the industry, and also I have seen the couple of industries what exactly stands they're following it whenever I take up the corporate trainings. So I just experience it is going to help you guys to guide them you the properly in a correct path it is. Okay, that is all about the introduction. Now let's get back to our session. We'll try to talk about the first our today's concept is nothing but we'll try to understanding about what is AWS, and after that, we'll discussing about the what is AWS. After that, we'll discussing about the how to create EC2 instances. Okay. Once we discuss about EC2 instances, from tomorrow onwards, we'll discussing about the how we can able to create the VPC network. And the VPCs are very important because whenever you want to deploy any application which is going to provide the client, we should understanding about where and how we can deploy before you deploy any of the application cluster or somewhere. How we can able to create the secure networks in the cloud platform. If we go to any of the cloud like Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle, the first every client asks us to create a VPC network. Within the VPC only we are trying to creating or we're going to manage all the resources. So here you have to understanding about what is subnets, what is NAT gateways, what is internet gateways, and what is elastic IP address. So before you want to understanding about these steps, let's try to give the a heads up on the what is AWS and why AWS is required, and how we can able to create EC2 instance, how we can deploy the application in the EC2 instances. That means how to configure the servers we should learn first. Because throughout this course, you have to configure your own servers. You have to convert your servers as the DevOps tools. That is the reason it's very much required knowledge is nothing but how to create a servers in this particular AWS cloud. That is what first we have to understand. So if anyone would like to uh, go back and revisit our YouTube channel for the, let me say, whatever the demo sessions we have covered. If we are the first time you're attending for this session, I'm requesting you guys to go to Client Technologies And here, when you go to Client Technologies, here we have uploaded some of the roadmaps, like how to start DevOps journey. Or also we have one more called as the AWS DevOps roadmap. So try to watch these two videos before you are jumping to this particular the classes, so that you will get the more clarity about what is DevOps and why DevOps is popular. That everything you are going to get it. So fine, let's start discussing about what is AWS. So before you're trying to understanding about what is AWS, I just want to ask you the question is nothing but what is cloud computing? Yeah, what is cloud computing? I just want to hear from you guys. So could you please help me with the definitions or what you know about the cloud computing? Yeah, anyone can help me with the definitions, or I hope you have the option to unmute yourself. You can able to unmute and we can talk. What is cloud computing first? So everybody talking about cloud computing, and many of guys are telling that cloud is one of the promising technology. So what exactly mean by cloud computing? Yeah, let's try to understanding about what is cloud computing first. See, cloud computing is nothing but a delivery of computing resources, or delivering of the computing or remote services as per your demand. So the first try to understanding about definition. The cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, including servers, storage, databases, networking, and software analytics. See, over the internet. See, cloud means the services, whatever we required, all the services we are trying to access from the internet. See, for example, I need a server. Whenever we need a server, so basically what we have to do, we'll just go to the approach any vendor and we are trying to purchase hardware. We are setting up a server. Let's say you just take any IT organization. We have a software development team and we have a application testing team. It is. Let's say, for example, testing team also will be having. Now I have developed the application. This application has to be tested in my server. So whenever you want to develop the application, now we have tested the application on local machine. Now this application has to be deployed in the server. So whenever you talk about server, server is a high configuration computer, which is going to work 24/7. This are simple definitions, but we should have the idea about what is server it is. Server is a high configuration computer where actually you are going to run your application. It's work 24/7. Even if you want to convert your laptop as server, yes, we can do that. Even if you want to convert your virtual machine as server, yes, we can do that. So that it is going to act as server it is. Now let's, for example, I have a requirement now. I want to deploy the application. I need these configurations. Let's say, for example, I require this 350 GB of RAM. Okay, let's, for example, I require 100 TB storage. It is. So this configuration we required. On top of it, I need the Windows operating system, or I need the Red Hat operating system, RHEL operating system, which I required it is. This is a configuration server which I required right now, so that I can able to deploy my application. So where we'll get these configurations? So you are going to approach a vendor. Okay. If you're in a Bangalore, you'll visit the area called as the near care market, where they are going to get all the hardware components what you require it is. So when it just go to here, I need these configurations to try to understand about how much the cost it is going to like involve it is. For example, normally if you want to purchase the 8 GB RAM, if you want to purchase the 512 GB of SSD, how much spending your approximately we're spending the 70,000 we are spending depends on the which company laptop you're going for, or which kind of the processor which you're going for. So let's, for example, i5 12th generation, 11th generation, OS we require the Windows. It depends on that. It is going to be like what it is required. So when I go to here, this is nothing but a configuration, and this is nothing but a cost it is. So when you compare to this, when you want to purchase this configurations, the computer, or we can say mission, how much you have to spend, like you have to spend some lakhs, right? So it is a one-time investment. You have to invest first. We have to purchase the hardware, and we had to set up the server on your on-premise, or we can say on premises. Nothing but wherever this your office is located, there we had to choose a location, and we have to install all the server it is. That means the first we had to go with the hardware. That means we had to set up the hardware. Then on top of it, we have to install the OS. We have to install the library files, and we have to install your application. We have to deploy your application. Like this is a procedure which we had to follow it. See, for here, we have to understanding about how much cost is going to be involved. See, we need a space, and also we need a manpower, nothing but we need a system admin who is going to handle my server, basically. And also we need this a team called as operations team, where exactly it is going to deploy my application in the server it is. So now let's, for example, this is application we have deployed. For example, I had deployed the application called as a GeoCinemas. Let's take about the GeoCinemas application, which I deployed, which is currently hosting the IPL, Indian Premier League. See now, for example, there is a match between the CSK versus RCB, which has happened in the last Saturday. I'm the last weekend, the match between the CSK versus RCB. The situation is, who is going to win, that team will qualify for the playoffs. That means they'll go for the quarterfinals. So now this is a tough match because this is the last match for the both teams, CSK versus RCB. Let's take the scenario. They're having very huge fan space across the world. So if you go to US, they have a fans. If you go to the Canada, they have a fans. They have a huge fans following. Now, when they are going to streaming this CSK versus RCB match, there are 58, I meant to say there are 58 crore people they watch this particular match. So try to understand about the how much traffic is coming towards my server, how the server is going to handle the traffic it is. Let try to understand. I have deployed this application on the on-premise server. Now let's try to understand this is nothing but my resources. 350 GB of RAM or 100 TB storage. See, every minute there is a traffic hitting my server because it is very crucial match. There is a huge fans base for this particular two teams. So I didn't expect this much traffic which is coming towards my server. So when there is a more traffic it is coming towards my server, what is happening? It is nothing but when the more traffic it is coming towards my server, I need to perform the auto scaling. I need additional resources because if all the resources are consumed my application, the more requests coming towards my application, it is busy to give the response to each and every request it is. If my server is not able to handle the traffic which is coming towards my application, my server it is going to be crashed. My server is going to be crashed. When the server it is going to be crashed, your application is going to be down. You think about in the point of the corner where you are watching the IPL match, but some point of time your application is not loading. It's keep on refreshing it is. See, when you go to the March month, there's a Facebook is down, Instagram is down. See, even I was using that time as a Facebook, it is a completely white page. I'm trying to resetting my password. I'm trying to re-log into my Facebook account. It is not happening at all. So that how many customers you are losing there? 58 CR people are losing here. That means whenever you're losing the customer, that means you're losing some money. Let's, for example, you take the Flipkart application. Flipkart is all about the business application where the customers are going to log into my website. They're going to select the product which they require and they're going to check out the service and they're going to do the payment and they're going to purchase the product. So let's, for example, when you go the big billion days or when you go the flash sales, so I need my application to perform the auto scaling. If my server it is not going to support with the auto scaling, my server is going to be crashed. It is not able to handle the traffic. Definitely you're going to get application downtime it is. So this is what exactly we have to understand. See, now you are going to get application downtime. You have noticed that, but I need additional resources. So I don't have the immediately. So what you can do, again, you have to run into the vendor. We have to run to the vendor and you have to ask the additional resources. Say, for example, I need, again, it is, let's, for example, I need the same configuration of the server. let's say for example, 350 GB of RAM, and I need again 100 TB storage. See, there are two kind of scalings we can perform any of the platform. One is nothing but vertical auto scaling. One is nothing but horizontal auto scaling. See, vertical scaling is nothing but what are the server we have, what are the resources you are having, and you are trying to increase the resources. Let's say, for example, my laptop is having 4 GB RAM. It is having only 512 GB SSD. But when I have installed all my application in my laptop, it is giving trouble. It is not loading. Sometimes it's not responding. That time, what you will do? You will go to Lenovo customer care. You ask them to increase your RAM size. You will ask them to increase the size of the hard disk what you are having. That means the existing resources whatever we have, on top of it we are trying to add the additional resources what we required in the additional slots. This is what kind of scaling it is called as a vertical scaling it is. So when you just go with the vertical scaling, there is a more chances that you're going to get application downtime it is. Because again, if the server is down, the traffic it is not go for any other server, my customers are not able to access application. So that is the reason only the many of the organization nowadays will go something it is called as a horizontal auto scaling. What is my horizontal auto scaling it is? So whatever these servers we are having, to that we are trying to adding the one more server to the production environment. That is what we can call as a horizontal auto scaling. There is already we have a server. I'm trying to adding one more server with the same configuration so that it is going to handle the traffic. If this server it is going to be down, it is going to handle it is going to send the traffic to the other server it is. So now try to understanding about costing perspective. See, many of the organization are the majorly they're worrying about infrastructure cost. See, we have to understanding about how we can reduce infrastructure cost. See, for example, I used to take the corporate trainings. When I asked the vendor to provide a lab, their lab cost is more than my training cost. Sometimes I'm laughing at myself. For example, they quoted for the training, it is per hourly basis, so and so amount. When you go with the lab cost, whatever they're paying to me for the training, more than that, they are paying for the lab infrastructure. That means it is going to take the lot of cost when you want to maintain the infrastructure. So whenever we have done this, let's for example, IPL is going to be ended this month, right? So after that, what are the additional servers, whichever I have placed in my organization, I don't require at all. That means what is happening here, the resource utilization is not properly done, you are simply wasting your money. So in order to reduce the infrastructure cost, there is something called as a market called as a cloud computing. See, cloud computing is nothing but we don't require to set up your data centers on your on-premises. So whenever I say about data center, you think about there is a place where you're going to keep all the servers in a racks. You're going to maintain all the servers at one place. That is what basically we have to understanding about what is meant by a data center. So when you look at this Google and try to understanding about the what is data centers, so we can able to see about how it is got looks like it is. So where it is contains, see data center store and share the applications and data. It compromises the component that include the switches, storage systems, servers, routers, the security, where it is going to maintain all the servers at one place. So sometimes you're going to call it as a Google data center, AWS data center. You are going to call it as a Microsoft as data center. See, when you take in India, we have different data centers in different locations. So they're setting up AWS data center in a Bangalore location. And also we have the locations in Mumbai location and Hyderabad location. In Hyderabad, the AWS setting up the world largest data center in this ASEAN. It is called as a Hyderabad location. And when you just go to the Google, we have the Delhi location, we have the Mumbai location, where they have the data centers. This is how the data centers look like. So we need a cooling system proper to make sure that it is work 24/7 your servers to reduce the heat. We need to set up the cooling system as well. Now, when you're discussing about the cloud computing, as we're discussing about definitions, cloud computing is a delivery of computing resources or delivery of computing services. Like whatever you required, you may require servers, you may require storage, you may require databases, you may require networking. Whatever we require, we can access through the internet, nothing but through the websites. Like if you want to access the AWS cloud, we have to go to aws.amazon.com. If you want to access the Azure cloud, If you want to access the Google Cloud, we have to go with the cloud.google.com. Like every cloud, we can access through the internet. So to offer the fast innovation, flexible resources, and economics of a scale, you typically only pay for the cloud services what you are going to use. That means we are not no need to set up the data centers on your on-premise. See, we are trying to access the resources what we are having, and you are going to pay the amount how much hours you are going to use this particular server it is. For example, let me give to make you understand. Let's say, for example, we have a phone connections, right? Two kind of connections we have. One is a postpaid connections, one is a prepaid connections. Prepaid means first we had to pay the amount, then you had to use it. Postpaid means first we have to use. After that, in a month, how many minutes, how many seconds you have spoken, for that you have to pay for that amount. This is what basically we have to understand. See, prepaid connections like setting up servers on your data centers. Postpaid connections, nothing but cloud computing. You no need to set up data center. You just log into your website called as aws.amazon.com, and you need to access the servers whatever we require. That is what basically we have to understanding about the cloud computing it is. So it is clearly telling that typically you have to pay only for the cloud services what you are going to use it is. Helping your lower your operating cost, run your infrastructure more effectively, and scale as your business needs change. See, scale as business needs change means, see, we don't know about when the traffic it is going to be increased, when the traffic it is going to be decreased. That is the reason we have to perform something it is called as a auto scaling. In auto scaling, we have to perform something it is called as a scale up and scale down. See, what is mean by scale up and scale down? Scale up means when the traffic it is got increase, when the traffic increase, so it has to perform the auto scaling, nothing but it has to increase the number of servers. When there is a traffic, it is down. So because if you keep running all the servers in the background on your infrastructure on production server environment, what will happen? You have to pay for the additional cost. So whenever there is no traffic, we have to decrease the number of servers. That means whenever the traffic it is got decrease, whenever the traffic it is got decreased, you have to remove remove additional resources what you created. Now you don't need to perform manualities. Everything it is going to perform this by system it is. So when you go to Kubernetes, we'll set up the auto scaling. When you come to the cloud computing, also we have something it is called auto scaling. Now it is going to decrease the number of servers whenever there is no traffic it is. Because this is very, very important factors which we have to understanding right now. Scale up is nothing but when there is a traffic it is got increased, we have to increase the number of servers. When the traffic it is got decreased, we have to remove the additional resources. So that is how we can able to save a lot of cost. So let's say, for example, after the match between the CSK versus RCB, do you think still there are 58 CR people are watching this after completion of match? No. When there is a match results finalized, let's for example, RCB won the match. So they're trying to reduce the number of people, the watching the presentation, everything. See, by some point of time after the match, let's for example, it is going to end by the 12 o'clock at 12 a.m. IST. So all the customers are going to drop down. They're going to log out from the application called Jio Cinemas. That time I don't need this service to be run in my background because I have to pay for that. So that is the reason we should understanding about we require a strong infrastructure. We had to set up the auto scaling and we should enable, we have to understanding about how it is going to work. See, that is what DevOps is all about. How we are trying to make sure that your production servers are going to up and running all the time, and how we are trying to monitor applications. See if there is any changes is happen, how we are trying to do that, the changes within the fraction of seconds in the production servers or in the test environment, how we can never do all these things. It comes all together as a DevOps platform. So because of DevOps, you see that you are never going to get application down to even the 50 ACR people are hitting my application. Now let's come to here, how we are trying to implement all these things. So now we have to understanding about, there is a vendor, it is called as a cloud service providers. We have something, it is called AWS. AWS stands for the Amazon Web Services. You take the AWS market, there is still many of the organization using the AWS. AWS is a leader in the market for the cloud computing. Let's try to understanding about what is meant by AWS. how basically AWS came into the market, and we'll discussing about the what kind of features which is going to provide this particular AWS. See, AWS is nothing but it is an American multi-billion-dollar company which is headquartered at the Washington, USA. It is started 1995 by the Jeff Beck, basically, but it is first started as an online bookstore. After that, it is soon diversified as a e-commerce application. That you know that what they're selling in the Amazon. So the company also produced the consumer electronics like e-kind e-book reader. In 2006, Amazon officially launched the Amazon Web Services because they had their own servers where they are utilizing for their business, but they're not utilizing fully the resources what they are having. There is the idea that why can't we rent these resources? We can generate the income for our organization. That is how the idea it is came into the market. In 2006, Amazon officially launched the Amazon Web Services to become a major provider of the cloud computing services. This is what basically we have to understanding about the AWS. So it is started in 2006 by the Jeff Wittis. Now, if we just look at my screen, what exactly mean by AWS? See, Amazon Web Services is a collection of remote computing web services. Whenever I say about remote computing web services means they are setting up a data center in particular location. You take up the Mumbai location, there is a data center over there. And whenever you want to deploy an application, we can choose a data center as per the client requirement, which they want it. So Amazon Web Services is a collection of remote computing web services that together make up a cloud computing platform. So physical servers located in different location, but we are not going to access physical servers. We are trying to create virtual machines on top of it, physical machines. That is what we can call remote servers that we are accessing through the internet. So we're discussing about how it is happening, what kind of visualization technique they are using. For example, when you're trying to send a request, how the virtual machine is creating the cloud computing platform in the particular data center, that everything we're discussing about going forward. Now try to understand it is Amazon Web Services is a collection of remote computing services, which is nothing but web services that together make up a cloud computing platform offered over the internet by the Amazon.com it is. So when you go to this website, aws.amazon.com, where we can able to access all the services what you required for the organization. See, AWS located 31 geographical regions. Previously, it was 29. They added 2 geolocations. There are some of the regions are coming up. See, when you go with this official website of the AWS now, if you go to AWS, the regions now, the regions and availability zones, when you go with this official website called as a global infrastructure regions and availability zones, you just look at my screen. This is nothing but we have a regions in this particular. See, wherever you see about green color, that means that regions already they launched. And if we go with this like in a red color, it is going to coming very soon it is. And if we are staying in this, like, when you go to here, and if we just go with the ASEAN Pacific, here we can able to see that where exactly our regions. So when you take this India, you look at my screen, there is a Mumbai region. It launched in 2016. And when you go to Hyderabad location, they launched 2022 it is. So it is Asia, the world's largest data center located in this particular Hyderabad region. They invested approximately 36,500 crores they invested to setting up the data center over there. You think about it, how much bigger it is. So this is like we have to understanding about the regions. See, every region has divided into the availability zones. See, for example, when I just go to here, if I just go with the local zones here, or when you look at this, every region has divided into the availability zones. Now, this is something which we have to understanding about the what is meant by region. See, region is nothing but a particular location where they're setting up the data center over there. Now here, each region is wholly contained within a single country. This is, I just already show you that where exactly the regions got located. Now, what exactly AWS is going to offer? Why everybody is behind the AWS? Why not they go for the Azure? Why not they go for the GCP? Even though they are competitor to the AWS. Say for every business, there is a competitor. So if you want to choose your competitor, it should be a unique in the like in the industry. So we have to understanding about what exactly and why this is going to be go for the AWS. See, whenever you go with the AWS, like look at here, the first is going to offering the availability, the scalability, and pay as you go basis. See, what do you mean by availability here? See, availability is nothing but, for example, I need to perform order scaling at midnight. I no need to go for the SP road. I need to search for the hardware, right? It is not available because that time all the shops are going to be closed in the Bangalore. I won't get any server at the time. So when you want to go availability, nothing but at the right location on demand, we need to create how many servers we require. That is what we can call availability. That means that you can able to access any of the service or 24/7 from any of the location it is. That is what basically we have to understanding about the availability of this particular services. So AWS is going to offer the 99.119 of the availability. This is what the AWS is going to promising. Let's say, for example, you may ask the question, I set up the cluster on AWS. They promises they that 11 nines here, but my application is now how we can able to do that here. See, whenever you want to understanding about right now, so AWS is going to promise the 11 nines. So we have to understanding about the how we can do it. See, for every cloud provider is going to sign an agreement called as the SLA, service level agreements. If they're not meeting this 11 nines of availability, they are going to pay for us because client is facing some issue, there's some challenges. That is the reason only they are going to pay for us. But our AWS is going to offer the 11 nines of availability whenever you take any kind of services in this particular AWS. Now, when you just go with the scalability, so we have to understanding about what do you mean by scalability it is. Scalability is very important feature. If you go with any of the cloud, just now only we are discussing about what is the importance of scalability. If you don't perform scaling of your application properly, definitely you're going to get application downtime. The moment when the application is going to be downtime, you're going to get application downtime. When the application is going to get downtime, it is going to affect your business. See, you take development team, you take testing team. The end of the day, when you deploy application the servers, which is always we have to understanding about how we can reduce the income for your organization to that application. So ability to go in size, instant elastically, nothing but scale up and scale down it is. So eliminating guessing on the infrastructure capacity needs. Nothing but we don't require to guessing the infrastructure. For example, if I purchase the additional resources, nothing but you are investing the amount of money, which is you don't require the resources. That means you're wasting your money over there because again, we can't able to give it back that resources what you purchased. That nothing but you're wasting your money over there. So it is going to reduce this, the kind of something it is called as a money over here. This is what we have to understanding about over there. Now, when you just try to understanding about the what is mean by pay as you go basis. See, pay as you go basis means you no need to pay any amount upfront. See, for example, when I want to purchase the or whenever I want to get the server for rent basis. Say in a Bangalore, if you go to SP Road, there are many vendors are there. If you are going to talk to them, if we have to make an agreement, you pay certain advance amount, they'll give a server to you for a rent basis. Like you can use this money, this many months. You pay for this much amount for me per month. So you have to pay per them per monthly basis, and also you have to pay that advance also because something happened to my store. You have the responsibility for that. So, but when you go to AWS, we don't require to pay any upfront hate. We can use first what are the services which we require, whether required AWS EKS cluster, whether required SSD instances, whether required VPC network, whether required SNS, if we required CloudWatch service, which are the service we required based on application demand. You can able to access all the services. So nothing but it is a low ongoing cost. You are going to pay as you go basis. That means you are going to pay only for what you are going to use. It is what we can call it as a like hourly basis. You have to pay for that. So pricing with the no upfront expenses or long-term commitments. We don't require basically to pay any amount for the advance it is. So it is only how much you are using. For that only you are going to pay the amount. These are the three features basically it is going to provide by the AWS. Instant elasticity. Nothing but right moment, the right time, how many instances we require, it is going to create, or it is going to increase the number of instances, it's going to increase the number, how much storage is required. That is what basically we have to understanding about the scalability. It is nothing but. So this is what the features which is going to provide by the AWS. So I hope you guys are clear so far. Anyone have any questions we can ask so that I can go ahead and I'll show you that how we can able to create a lab for us. Going forward without lab, we can't practice. See, DevOps is all about the lab. Once you did practically, then only we can able to understanding about each and everything. So otherwise, we can't able to understanding about any of the concept. So anyone have any questions so far? Can I say yes or no at least in the chat? Thanks for the responses. At least there is a no questions. Now we'll see about how we can able to set up the lab. So you everyone before coming for tomorrow's session, everyone has to create this. Everyone has to create this AWS accounts. So because we are doing all the practicals on the AWS. So let me show you that how we can able to create this AWS account. What are the steps you have to follow that? First, go to the aws.amazon.com here. And here we have the option name. It is called create an AWS account. When you click on the create AWS account, you look at here, there is a sign up, a console sign up, which you are going to get it. And the sign up first, we have to mention about the, what is your, I mean to say, what is your root email address? See, the moment when you're creating AWS account, you're going to creating something, it is called as a root user. So root means you are a administrator. You are a administrator. You can able to access any of the services which we required. That is what we can call root user. So there is a concept called as IAM user accounts. I'll explain about what is meant by IAM and what is the root, that you'll understanding about later. As of now, try to understand, we have to create a root user account. When you're discussing about root user account, first, we have to provide your Gmail address. Let me just provide any of the Gmail address. Let me go here, get the Gmail address. 1 second. Yeah. When I go to here, when I mention about the Clehen Technologies, clehentechnologies@gmail.com. This is the Gmail address which I'm going to setting up right now. Account name could be anything. Like you can provide whatever the account name. So I'm just going to provide the Murali Social, SOCL Social 123. This is nothing but my account name. Click on the verify email address. When you click on the verify email address, it's going to send the verification code to your Gmail address. So you have to get the, you have to mention about the Gmail address. So it is saying about the Gmail specified is already associated with the AWS account. Let me provide the different account, different Gmail address. I'll show you the step 6. So we had to perform the 5 steps in order to create the account. Let me go to here. I'm going to explain about the how we can able to create the account. So let me click on the complete sign up. It is, let me close this and open again. Go to the new window and here. Yeah. Go to the aws.amazon.com. And here click on the create an account. Now here we had to provide the root URLs. So provide the Clara. This is, I'll just use DAANA Diana 010 @gmail.com. Okay. So that name is Clara _2024. That is the name which I'm just going to provide. Now click on the verify email address. So when you click on the verify email address, it is going to send you the verification code to the email address. So when you provide the verification code, then we can go ahead and we can able to create the AWS account. Let me just provide the verification code, nothing but OTP. Yeah. So let me enter the OTP here. It is 918-883. Now click on the verify it is. So when you click on the verify, you look at here, it is going to ask you to choose the password. So I'm just going to provide the password here. And also here, come to here and provide the password. Now click on the complete sign up step 1 to 5. In the second step, we have to select which account you want to choose. Whether you want to go with the business account or you want to go with the personal account. See, always go to the personal account. Look at here. All the AWS accounts can explore 3 different types of free offers. Always free means not all the services. Only some of the services are free of cost, not all the services. If you look at this, always free means don't use all the services. They're going to charge from your card. So especially those who are joining from US, you guys are very careful that because from the Indian cards, they're not deducting amount from directly from the accounts. But if you are using this AWS, if you provide any credit card over there, if you use any paid services, they'll deduct amount from your cards. I'll tell you that how we can able to waive the bill. There is a way that we can able to waive off the bill. Even if you look at my screen, when I just use my account, especially for the practice purpose, for teaching those classes, everything, I'm just using my AWS. If you look at my screen, it is already $100. So even you don't need to pay the $100, we can able to raise the ticket and we can able to pay the bill. So I'll tell you that what is the procedure we have to follow it. So that is the reason whenever you use the paid services, definitely you have to pay for that. It is telling about $115. I have to check that wait, there is some servers are running. Okay, next provide the full name it is. So what is your name? And you have to mention about the, let's for example, I'm going to write the name of the candidate. And after that, I'll just try to mention about the +91. You have to mention about, you have to set the country code, India, and provide the name it is, sorry, mobile number. Let me just provide the new mobile number. So it could be any mobile number provided it is. Let's say, for example, I have just given this number it is. So once you provide the mobile number, then tell the region it is. You are from which region? You are from United States or you are from India or you are from any other country. We have to select this particular region and provide the address. Remember, with one phone number, with one address, we can able to create only one account. If this same card you are using again and you are using same address, they're going to blocking your account. So you have to be very careful on that. So when you're creating an account, provide the address and provide the mobile number it is. See, once we have done this step, this is second step, right? Third step, it is nothing but we have to provide the credit card or debit card we have to mention. See, without providing your card details, you can't able to create any of the account. So we have to understanding about we have to provide this credit card or debit card information. See, once you provide the credit card, debit card information, see, if you are from India, they will direct 2 rupees for the verification purpose. If you are from US, they are directing $1 for the verification purpose. They are going to credit back that amount into your account. They are going to credit back the amount into your account after some days once the verification is done. So this is nothing but a support plan. Once we have done with this credit card information, this is the fourth step it is. In the fourth step, we have to mention about what is the basic plan, what is the developer plan, what is the business plan it is. So basic plan means it is a free of cost. You no need to pay any amount, but when you go developer plan, you have to pay $29 per month. If you go to the business plan, you have to pay $100 per month. This is a supporting plan what we are having right now. And if we come down here, we have to go to the option name. It is called as last step. Enter your role and interest. Here we have to mention about what is your role. The role, it is nothing but software engineer, software developer, and your interest in DevOps. When you click on the submit, it may take few seconds or few minutes to activate your account. So it is going to, once it is got activate account, this is what the console you can able to see that. If you go to here, when you just go back to your recently visited, and this is what exactly you are going to see about the console, where we can able to look at this, all the services, everything. Now, once you log into this website, if we just go to here, this is the website where we can able to see right now. So now, once I log in here, this is the interface you are going to get. See, AWS, we can able to access two ways. One is from the AWS CLI, one is from the graphical user interface. So we have to understanding about how we can able to use both ways. How we can able to use both ways. So when you go to here, if you go with the recently visited services, we can able to get the what exactly recently visited services. These are all the services which I recently visited. Now, whenever you had logged in with this AWS account, the first we have to understanding about regions. So this is very important. See, when you go with this North California, you will go with the North California, they will charge very less cost when you go with the North California. And this is what we have to understanding about regions. So whenever you would like to practice, these regions are available for my account. If you go to the account name, what I have given here, when you click on account here, you can able to get all your account details, like what is your account settings, like account ID, what is your account name, what is the password, and what is your contact information. And if you just go to here, alternative contact information, and this region by default is got disabled for my account. You take the Cape Town, Hong Kong, Hyderabad, Jakarta, Melbourne. You look at here, these regions are got disabled for my account. These regions got enabled for my account. See what I can say, I can able to enable these regions. I can able to enable these regions here. Whenever you want to enable the region, click on this checkbox here, click on the enable, the region is going to be enabled for you guys. So, but we don't require the regions, whatever by default got enabled, that is enough to practice throughout this DevOps. Now, first what I can say, I had to go to this option right now. So now I'll just go with the services here. This is what we have to understanding about the how we can able to see about the information. Whenever you want to look at the billing dashboard, when you look at the bills now, here we can see that there is something it is called as the bills estimation bill summary. How much you have to pay per the month of the May it is. A bill status is a pending status. I had to pay that $115.41. So in case if we're not going to pay any amount, what will happen, they're going to block your account. We can create another account. I created 14 accounts as of now. They generated a single rupee from my card, even though I generated $300, $400 also I have generated. So you don't need to worry about the billing dashboard, what reflecting over here. And also there is a way that we can able to weigh up the abilities. Now, when you go to services here, like you look at my screen, there are different services we'll be having. Like we have analytics, application integration, blockchains, cloud financial management, compute, containers, customer enablement. See, let me just read out what services we are going to discussing about in the AWS. So when you go to this option here, the first, when you go to the compute here, here we are going to discussing about the EC2 and we'll discussing about the Lambda IDs. Okay, both will discussing about EC2 and Lambda. When you go to containers, in the containers, you are going to discussing about ECS, Elastic Container Services, or we'll discussing about the Elastic Container Services, and we are trying to understanding about the Elastic Kubernetes Services. So this we are going to cover this service in the AWS for the especially for the Kubernetes. One is Elastic Kubernetes Services, one is Elastic Container Registry, and Elastic Container Services. The three services we are going to discussing about on AWS. When you go to databases, here we have to understanding about what is DynamoDB, what is meant by RDS. RDS basically it is a structured database. When you go to DynamoDB, which is nothing but NoSQL databases. When you go to developer tools, here as I said that you are going to discussing about the code commit, you're discussing about code build, and we're discussing about code deploy, we're discussing about code pipelines. This is also very important. And after that, when you come down, when you go to the application integration, here we are going to discussing about SNS, simple notification service. For example, your server is getting too much traffic. How we can able to get the notification? We had to send the email notification, or you have to send the message notification, or you want to send the Slack notification. We have to understanding about how we can do with help of the SNS it is. Now, when you come down here, we can see that there is something, it is called as a, um, we go with this option called as manage and governance. Here we are going to understanding about CloudWatch. Whenever you deploy any application AWS cloud, if you want to monitor your application, definitely we have to go something, it is called it as a CloudWatch. We'll discuss about the what is CloudWatch. After that, when you come to the option called network and content delivery, here you are going to understanding about what is mean by VPC it is. So VPC is very, very important. VPC stands for the Virtual Private Cloud. How we are going to setting up the VPCs. Within the VPCs, how we are trying to setting up the resources, whatever we required. And on top of it, you are going to learning about Route 53. See how we can, for example, we require domains. Say if you go with the GoDaddy, godaddy.com. Whenever you require any of the domain, you'll go to GoDaddy or you will go to Hostinger. This is nothing but domains provider, right? So for example, I need a website for this. Let's, for example, I'll search for the Clehan Technologies here. Clehan Technologies .com. Now, when you go to here, search for the domains which you have. Now, see what is going to be happening right now. See, ClehanTechnologies.com already we purchased. If you go to here, when you hit ClehanTechnologies.com, already we posted a template also it is. Now, when you go to this website, if you just come down here, look at here it is. So it is asking, it is basically we charged with help of the 699 we are paying for a year. But when you come to here, look at the broker fee. If you require this domain, it is asking us to pay this much amount for the broker fee, and they are trying to call us and they are trying to negotiate. Like whenever you require any of this particular domain, you see that it is available with the help of the ClehanTechnologies.in. Whenever you purchase this domain, when you deploy the application inside your application server, we are going to attach load balancers, or you're going to get the elastic IP address. That elastic IP address we have to attach to this vector, route 53 it is. See, it is a reliable way to route users to the internet applications. Now, when you click on the get started here, you see about what are the services you are having. A reset a domain, transfer a domain, create a hosted zones, and configure health checks. See, all these things you are going to understanding. We'll discuss about how we can register this particular domain. That is basically we are trying to understanding about in the Route 53 it is. See, when you click on the get started here, it will ask you about the what is the check availability of the domain. See, for example, if I search for the ClehanTechnologies.com, when you click on the search, it is. Look at here, it's searching for the domain it is. See, it is not available. This domain already taken it is. Look here, we have the Clehan Technologies site.io, ClehanLabs.com. See that it is telling that how much you have to pay per year, whatever the domain which you require it is. Like we have to choose the domains whichever required, and once we can able to once we can able to purchase, we can able to configure it. So we'll see about how we can do that all the steps. Now, if we come to here, we have done with this the monitoring, and we're done with the networking. And if we come to here, we have to understanding about security and identity here. Now here you are going to understanding about what is meant by IAM. IAM is nothing but identity and access management. So you are going to understanding about IAMs are very, very important, because when you're going to join for any organization as a DevOps engineer or a software developer or tester, they won't provide the complete access of AWS account to you. They can restrict the services, what exactly you want, and they will give it to you, and they're going to create a role and they're going to attach to you. You'll understanding about what to create a users for the console from the command line. You'll understanding about how to create user groups. We'll understanding about how to create the roles, and we'll understanding about how we can able to create a policies, and you'll try to understanding about how to create the identity providers. This is also very important. So this everything we have to understanding about with IAM. So once we have done with the IAM, when you come down here, we have to go to storage. The storage, you are going to understanding about S3 buckets. So for example, if you go to Netflix, Netflix hosted all the movies in the Amazon S3 buckets. So let's try to understanding about how we can able to use those services. Now, this is a complete, I can say about the tour of this particular services, what we are going to discussing about the going forward sessions. So if you really want to become a DevOps engineer, definitely it is very much required to learn about the cloud computing. Without learning cloud computing, you can't able to become a DevOps engineer. I, I can able to say that loudly. You have to learn this cloud computing. So first, let's talk about the what is EC2 and how do you create these EC2 instances right now. So EC2 stands for the Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud is service which provided by the AWS. Whenever you would like to create a virtual missions, you have to go to the option name. It is called as EC2 here. This is what we can call dashboard, and we have to choose where you want to create. I'll go with the Mumbai region right now. When you go to Mumbai region, look at my screen. This is nothing but my Mumbai region where I'm just trying to create setting up a server right now. Now first try to understanding about the how we can able to create EC2 instances. Before you are trying to create EC2 instances, we have to understanding about the what is the parameters which we have to consider. So EC2 stands for the Elastic Compute Cloud. Uh, Elastic means we can able to increase the resources whenever you want. Elastic means it has stretching nature, right? The same thing we have mentioned about Elastic Computer. Now, when you go with this option name, it is called Elastic Compute now. So we have to understanding about the what are the steps we have to follow whenever you want to create a EC2 instances. So for example, when I ask you to purchase a laptop, what are the configuration basically we're looking for? We're looking for some of the configurations like how much RAM I required, how much storage, which OS I required, and what is the processor which I have to choose. These are the primary things basically we have to choose, right? So now try to understanding about the what is the factors terminology which we have to understanding about right now. See, because terminology is going to differ from the cloud to cloud. When you go to this, when you go to this particular, I mean, say when you go to the AWS, when you go to GCP, when you go to Azure, so it is going to be change the terminology. So whenever I would like to choose the OS we know about operating system, right? So we can have different types of operating systems we'll be having. Like we have Windows, we have Linux operating systems we'll be having. There are different types of operating systems we are having. Try to understanding about the what is the operating system we are having. So when you go to the OS stands for the operating system. It is operating system. So when you go with the operating system, I try to understanding about what it is. So we know that operating system, it is a interface between a user and computer hardware. We have different types of operating system. We'll be having Windows, Linux, and we have Mac OS. We have different operating system we'll be having. Now in this AWS also, we can able to choose the operating system that we name call it as the Amazon Mission Images. So when I say Amazon Mission Image, which is nothing but how do you going to choose what image which you require? So this is what basically we have to understand about Amazon Mission Image. See, when you go to here, when you go to my AWS account, and here when you just go to the option name, it is called as a click on the launch instance. When I click on the launch instance, we have to understanding about the how we can able to create a launch instance. See, Amazon EC2 allows you to create virtual missions or instances that run on the AWS cloud. That means we have this AWS region where my data center. In the data center, we'll be having this availability zone. In this availability zone, what we are trying to do, we are going to creating one virtual machine right now. Where you are going to creating, we had to create within the VPC this virtual machine. This is nothing but how securely you are going to manage all the resources. This layer I'll talk about tomorrow. Today we'll see about how we can able to create instances right now. Now here first we had to provide the instance name. This could be anything. Let's say for example, I'm just going to provide the demo server. Yeah, this is nothing but my server name. It is called demo server. After that, we have to choose the what is the instance OS image which you have to choose. See, AMI is nothing but template, nothing but OS that contains the software configurations, nothing but operating system, application servers, and applications. So it is contains the operating system, application servers, applications. So depends on your requirement. We have to choose which OS we require, which combination we require. See, like we have Mac, Amazon Linux, we have Mac OS, we have Ubuntu, we have Windows, Red Hat, SUSE Linux. Like we have different types of the operating systems we are having right now, and we have to choose that which operating system we require. See, most of the organizations we use the Ubuntu or we use Red Hat operating systems, and sometimes we use something it is called Amazon Linux as well. Now we're discussing about how we can able to create a Ubuntu server. Ubuntu is a Linux server. It is a command line interface. Now, first we have to understand terminology. Next, we look at here. In Ubuntu, there are different types of OSs which we require, like Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11 will be having. Like that, we have different types of OSs we will be having. Now, we have to choose that which OS we required. See that this is nothing but my Ubuntu server 24.LTS. LTS stands for the long-term support. See, wherever you choose the free tier eligible, that is a free of cost. They're not going to charge anything from your pocket. So we have to select the option called as a free tier eligible. It is called as a Ubuntu it is. Now, which is architecture you required? Whether we require the ARM or we require the x86. This is what we can call it as a architecture which I required. And we had to choose the Amazon Mission ID which I required it is. See, every OS, it has unique ID. This ID it is going to be changed depends on the region. So whenever you are going to switch to different regions, definitely we had to understanding about this is going to be changed. This Amazon Mission ID is going to be changed for the whenever you switch to different regions. Now, when you come to here, we have to go to instance type it is. Like we have to select this how many CPUs we required, how much GB RAM we require it is. See, like look at my screen, we have the T2.micro, T.nano, T2.medium. Like we have i5, i3 processor. In i5 we have 11th generation, 12th generation. Like that we have different instance types we are having. Look at here, we have different types of the instance types we require. Depends on what kind of application you're deploying. Whether you're deploying gaming application, deploying big data application, or you're deploying e-commerce application, or deploying retail application. Depends on what kind of application deploying in the servers or instances. We have to understanding about all these options it is. So when I choose this micro T.micro, it is a free eligible. They're not going to charge anything from your pocket, but it is not sufficient to practice all the DevOps tools. We have to go with the high configurations that as per the official documentations. So now, as of now, we'll choose the T.micro. Even if you come down here, look at the pricing. Whenever you go to the T2.xl lots, they'll provide the 8 CPUs. They'll provide the 32 GB of memory. Look at this, what is the pricing it is. When you go to Windows pricing, they're charging 0.4588 cents USD per hour. When you go to the Linux here, they're charging 0.396 USD per hour. Cents it is all about. When you go to Red Hat and pricing, they're charging 0.5268 USD per hour. This is what we can call cents right now. And when you come to here, this is nothing but we are having a T.medium. Here we have to understanding about the 2 CPUs and 4 GB RAM. If you require high configurations, look, if you go to C6A, 128 CPUs, 250 GB of RAM, don't select all these things because it is going to charge huge cost from your pocket. So don't select until unless there is no requirement. So we don't require this much high configuration servers. Look at here, when you go with less pricing, they're charging 2.992 USD per hour. When you go to SUSE Linux here, they're charging 3.117 USD per hour. So they are going to be, charges are very high. Depends on that, what exactly the instance type which you're going to choose. So when you go to here, we have to choose this different types of the instance types it is, which you require it is. Now I'll go with the T.micro, that is as of now sufficient. Now we have to go with the key pair. The key pair, it is nothing but how securely you are going to log into your instance. So definitely we require a key pair. So if don't have a key pair, hackers can hack my website, which I'm just going to creating right now. So we can use key pair to securely connect your instance. Ensure that you have the access to the selected key pair before you launch an instance. So key pair, it is very, very important. It is going to use some encryption algorithm to encrypt your key, because if someone is going to hack your key also, they can't able to understanding about what is your key pair. Now, whenever you would like to create a key pair, click on the create a new key pair it is. Look, we have the RSA key pair. We have ED25519 algorithms. This is nothing but key pair encryption algorithms will be having. So first, anyone using Mac OS, if you are using Mac OS, go to ED25519 algorithm and go to .pem file. If anyone using Windows, we have to go to RSA and we have to mention about the key pair name it is. Let's say, for example, this is nothing but a demo server key pair. See, the same key pair we can use for multiple times when you're creating instance on the same region. If we create instance in different region, the key pair is not applicable over there. We have to create our own new key pair. Now we have to go to the .pem file. Now click on the create key pair it is. Look my screen. The key pair it is got created. Now we have to go to network settings right now. Click on the edit here. See, networks is very, very important, because how securely you are trying to protecting your infrastructure, what you are setting up here. See, whenever you create a server, ultimately you're deploying applications as a server. If you create a application on a public network, anyone can able to hack your website. So we have to understanding about the how do you going to create a secure networks, and how we can able to manage the resources with the secure networks. That is what we can call it as a the VPCs here. See, VPC stands for the virtual private cloud. Basically, right now we are having only default VPC. As of now, I'm choosing the default VPC, and in default VPC, there are different subnets. So you'll understanding about what is VPC, what is subnets, everything in tomorrow's session. Right now, we have 3 subnets we'll be having. We can choose that in which subnet you have to launch your instance it is. Now, so look at here, auto assign public IP address. Every instance getting the 2 kind of IP address. One is a private IP address, one is a public IP address. This public IP address is a dynamic address. It is going to be keep changing whenever you stop the instance and when you're going to start the instance. So when you go to private IP address is nothing but it is going to be useful for how we are trying to communicate from one mission to other mission within the organization. That is what we are going to use this private IP address. So whenever you want to deploy the application, when you want to access the application to the web browser, definitely we have to go with the public IP address, or we have to go with the elastic IP address. You'll understand the difference between public and elastic IP address in tomorrow's session. Why do you want to go that? Now here we got to go to a firewall security here. See, firewalls are the but it is a set of protocols. It will define that what kind of traffic which comes or which route to your application. That is what we can say about the firewall settings. See, a security is a group is a set of firewalls rules that control the traffic for your instance. Like which traffic is coming towards your application, that is going to be control your instance it is. See, add the rules to specific traffic to reach your instance. So whenever you want to create a security group, we have to define the security group name. And after that, let's, for example, I'm defining this demo here. Let me go by the demo server, which I have used right now. And also here, I'm just going to put a description also, demo server. Now here we have defined the what protocols we required. See, why by default SS protocol is got enabled. See, whenever you want to access your instance from your local machine, let's understand this is nothing but my local machine, the computer, the instance which I'm going to creating in the remote, it is in the Mumbai region. If you want to access the instance what you create in the AWS into local machine, definitely we require protocol called as a SH protocol. SS stands for the Secure Shell Protocol. It is going to use to connect remote servers securely. That is the purpose we are going to use something. It is called as a SH protocol. It is. Now we require something. It is called storage. The storage is all about the how much storage we require for you. There are 2 kind of storages in AWS. One is nothing but elastic block storage. One is nothing but object based storage. Whatever the storage which you are going to use in these instances, That is what we can call as elastic block storage. It has a structure where we can able to store your data. Now, look at here, filter eligible customers can get up to 30 GB storage. Okay. And here, like a disk type it is. What kind of disk you require? Like SSD hard disk we are having, right? HDD. Like that, we have to go with the SSD, GP2, GP1. See, it depends on the disk type which you required. It is charges are going to be vary. It is. For example, when I want to purchase 512 as a hard disk drive, it is going to charge very less amount. Whenever you're going to purchase the 512 GB, you have to pay around 3,000 to 5,000 you have to spend to purchase. So now finally we have to go to the option called as the number of instances. There's advanced details. I'll talk about the advanced details later. Now, as of now, look at the summary screen. The number of instances, how many required. For example, if I mention about 4 instances now, with the same configuration, it is going to create the instances. How many instances is going to create a 4 instances? So if you want to create 4 instances in the virtualization technique, you have to spend at least 3 hours of time to setting up all the virtual machines. Right now, we require only 1 instance now. We look at here, the which Amazon machine image which you have chosen, what is the server type which you have chosen, what is security group, how much storage which we have, and look at here all these things. Now click on the launch instance here. When I click on the launch instance, the request going for the AWS data center, there they are going to use virtualization technique. The visualization technique that we are going to use something, it is called hypervisors. We use software. There we have 2 types of it is type 1, type 2 it is. So they are going to use type 1 software to create a virtual machines on the data center. I'll talk about the visualization technique. Now when you come to here, we can look at my screen, this view all instances. Now instance is ready now. So now we have to understanding about how to connect the instance. What is the use of the instance right now? So whenever you want to connect the instance, we require a putty software. Now, if you go to the Google and you will just hit putty.org, here if you go to the option called the download putty, we can connect to the command line, we can connect to the putty, we can connect the super putty, we can connect mobile extreme. The different softwares will be available. We can use whatever you want. And here I'll go with the putty.exe. Now click on the putty.exe here. It is going to download this software. It is. Now open this software. Okay. When you open this now, when you go to this instances here, now click on the checkbox. Now click on the connect. Now here we have to mention about the username at the rate DNS name here. So here I'm just going to provide the host name, appearance. Click on the change. We had to mention the 14 here. After that, go to connection here. We had to provide 60 it is. Now go to SSH, authorization, credentials. Click on the browse. We had to provide the items like demo-server, which you created. See that the key pair, whatever you created, that key pair we have to upload over here. This is going to be asking that the credentials. If you click on the browse, it is going to ask you the credentials. So what is the key pair which I downloaded? When you go to the downloads now, you look at my screen, there is a demo server. It is, I had downloaded this demo server is a .pem file. That is the reason it's not showing over here. So now I want to convert this into the .ppk file. So we don't require, you guys don't need to do this step because by mistake I have downloaded the .pem file. I'll go with the putty keygen software to download. Let's try to convert this .pem to the .ppk file. Let's go to the putty gen software. I'll try to download this putty gen software it is. Because once it's done, we can't able to change anything. Let me go to here and try to download the putty gen it is. Let's go to the putty download page. Okay, now here, when you just come down here, look at my screen. We had to go to this page. Let me go to search here. It is a putty. I need a putty gen. Yes, look at my screen. It is nothing but putty gen we are having. So if we go to here, it is going to be installed putty gen. There's a slight differences between these two servers. If you want to convert, we just want to go to the option name. It is called as a putty gen. So I'm just trying to load my key pair what I downloaded. If we go to here, click on all files. we go to demo server. Now I'm just loading this key pair. I'm going to save as a private key it is. Click on the private, Assure want to private key pair. Now let me go to here, mention about the demo-server. Demo server here, don't mention about the key pair type. It is going to save as a .ppk it is. Now click on the save it is, got saved. Now upload this key pair right now with the putty. See, it is a lock symbol it is, okay? There is going to be connecting symbol it is. Now click on the private key pair, demo server. Now go to the open here. I'm just trying to connecting my server it is. Now click on accept. Now I have just connected my server right now. And first type the command called sudo sc. You are going to become a root user. See, for the demo purpose, I'm just going to showing that how we can able to deploy this simple application over there and how to access it right now. So I'll not take much time. I'll take another 5 to 10 minutes. That finish up this session. First, what we can say, I had to convert since in the web server. Now, how we can do it right now? So first, we had to mention the command called it as a, you have to become a root user. After that, type the command called apt-get update first. Without updating in the Ubuntu, you can't able to find any packages. I'm trying to updating my operating system first. Don't worry about these commands. As I said that we have dedicated sessions and we are going to discussing about all the next commands which are required right now. If I just go ahead and try to see about right now and type the command called apt-get install, and we had to mention about Apache 2-y. I'm trying to install the Apache web server right now. I'm trying to install the Apache web server. Okay. Now, if you just go to the default location, cd/var, go to www. If you go to HTML directory, I'll go to this location here. See, we have a default web page. It's called as the index.html page we'll be having. Now let me access the test page right now. How we can able to access right now? See, web servers is going to serve the request by using port number 80. That port number we have to enable. See, we have to go to security first. We have to go to security groups. And if you click on the eight inbound rules, click on the add rule. Now we have to go to all TCP. Now I'm just trying to access the server test page, which they already deployed in my server. Go to instances now. If you go to the instance ID, go to the public IP address. If you open this port number, if you choose 80, now once you hit the enter, check whether you are able to accessing or not. This is I'm accessing, even you guys can also access because my server it is running on the cloud. So anyone can able to access the application which I'm deploying in the server it is. Now, when you deploy this application, look at here, this is nothing but my Ubuntu home page. So they're asking us to replace the file located at where www.index.html page. Now what I can do, we'll deploy the simple website and we'll see how we can do it. So going forward, when discussing about RDS, we'll see how to connect to database, how we can store the data in the database server as well. Now let me go to my repositories. Now already we have one, let's go to here, go to test-web-app. This is nothing but my web. This is nothing but my web. Go to the copy the URL. So what I can say, I'm just going to clone here. First, let me install the Git now. Go to here, install git-y. I'm trying to cloning this. It is already installed. Now type the command called git clone. Let me come back to the // home directory. I'll go to Ubuntu here. Now here I'll type the command called git clone. Right click. Now hit the enter. I'm just trying to clone this repository. Let's try to copy that all the files. Okay. CD space. So let me go to inside the test-web-app. Okay. Before, it is capital letter. See, capital T, capital A. It is a case sensitivities. Now I'll try to hit the enter. Now when you type the command called ls command, we have these files, right? Now I'll try to go to the, first I have to remove this file, which is located in my directory called as a var www html, and we have to mention about the index.html page. Now hit the enter. Now we had to copy these files over here. copy that index.html page /. We had to copy inside the where www HTML folder it is. So no such file directory we are having. So we have to mention / here. Okay. Go to here. This is a copy command I'm using. Now, when you go back to your URL, if you refresh that same URL, what you are trying to accessing right now, see, you are going to get different page. Now, even you guys are able to access. When I click on the about services, it's showing about the page not found. Let me copy that the files also in my location. Now I'm trying to copy that the other pages also what I am having right now. Cloud services.html page. I'm trying to copy this now. Okay, now hit the enter. See, you're doing that. And after that, if you go to the contact.html page, this is also I'm trying to copying my server it is. So this is the default location where they have configured. If you want to change, you want to create a virtual host also, we can create it and we can able to do that. But we are, as of now, we are trying to copying everything in default directory, what they have given. Now, when you go to here, click on the refresh now. Now this is going to be loading all the files. When you click on the cloud services, you see you are able to access the application. When you click on the contact us, look at here, you can able to access me on my contact information. Now we have deployed this simple application that we are able to accessing. So this is basically how we have to configure servers. We have to convert the servers whatever you want. You want to convert as application server, you want to convert database server, you want to convert as a web server. So we have to convert the servers whatever the you required. So we'll do more hands-on going forward. So you'll understanding about how we can able to do all these steps. So as of now, anyone have any questions right now? If you have any questions, you can ask. I'm just going to clarify all the questions. Okay. So if you don't have any questions here, I see that couple of responses, that's fine. Let me explain that what is a placement assistance which we are going to provide. Because we don't want to provide the false promises to pull the candidates. If I have it 6 to 7 members also in a batch, that's absolutely fine for me. I can run the batch. So, but what is the promises which we are going to provide the students is nothing but, see, those who are having experience and you want to change domain to the, for example, you are in testing. Now you want to move to the cloud platform or you want to move to the DevOps field. So what we can do, see, we have some tie-ups with the consultancies or we have tie-up with some HRs. So whenever there is some openings here, we'll get the genuine referrals. We'll get the genuine referrals. We're going to provide we'll forward a profile to that HR team. They will schedule an interview and you have to go to the interview and you have to crack the interview. So we don't provide any proxy, but when you crack the interview, once you got placed, then we'll give 100% support. But 2 months or 3 months, whenever you, whatever you require the, the support for 2 or 3 months until you understanding about project flow, definitely we are going to help you will be about the placement assistance. This is the kind of placement we are going to provide to the experienced people, those who are looking for the domain change. So the people who are having a gap or those who are freshers, see, for them we had especially designed for the 3 months internship program. See why? Because see, freshers, they can't able to understand that how the industry is going to be handling the DevOps projects. Even they won't get the access for the DevOps engineers because it is everything dealing with the servers. Even though they hide from the XYZ companies, they'll give some supporting task. So you guys have to understanding about how to work in a real-time environment. See, while you're discussing about the DevOps codes, we'll be taking some real-time application like 10 microservices, 7 microservices, 7 microservices. There are different microservice projects we'll take and we'll try to understanding about it. See, throughout this codes, you are going to do the 30 plus mini and major projects you are going to do this, guys. I don't say, but all the projects are major projects. Out of 30 plus, you're going to be able to work on 5 major projects and 25 plus minor projects you're going to work. So we'll see from the scratch how to configure it, how we can able to do that, how to Dockerize, how we can deploy application, the Kubernetes, how we can access that everything you are going to learn from the scratch it is. So those who are having a gap and experienced people, we are going to provide an internship where we are going to teach you that how to work in the real-time environment. It is what we can call on-job training. So we'll be providing internship certificate, which is got authorized certificate. You can showcase to any of the client whenever you go for attend for interview. And those who are gap, if we have the password 2022, sorry, 2021 or 2019 or 18. So if we want the more insights, how we can able to approach or how we can do it, you guys can call up this number. I'll be can take up the calls. I can able to guide you that how we can able to move on that situations, how we can able to pace that. So, but definitely we placed many students. Many times I told you that. See why I'm proudly saying that we haven't given the any like proxies and all. They themselves they attend the complete course 3 to 4 months and they crack the interview by themselves. You can find in my LinkedIn also. Whenever they cracked, I used to congratulate them. I used to post this guy traveled with me 6 months. He learned CKA with me, certified Kubernetes administration. Also, he learned DevOps with me, and he is now he's getting 8 lakhs per month after reduction of all the taxes, everything. So like that, many stories I have. The many people they are from different backgrounds. They moved from IT background. See the Hema also it is she's from a different designing background, mechanical, but she moved to DevOps field. Bhaskar is from the degree background. He's just moved from the degree to the with putting experience. He moved to the DevOps engineers. And even she is also from BCom graduated. Ritika Reddy, she is working in non-IT night shifts. She wanted to become a DevOps engineer. She did it. That means the dedication, hard work, it is very important. I don't say that if you attend my all classes, you'll get a job. I can say that you have to follow my instructions, you have to do hard work, then only you can able to choose your path. So even he is also got job as a fresher. He got a job as a fresher. That is the reason we created two posters in different here. So why we are proudly saying that we done amazing job. There are other people also got placed the consultancies. We don't want to put them. We don't want to take the rewards what they have put the efforts consultancies. That is the reason only we just placed only the posters who actually got placed through our training program. So this is all about the today's session. If I really want to enroll yourself, my team is going to approach you guys today. You guys can able to talk to them. They'll share the syllabus to your email addresses. Everything they'll tell you about clearly. Even I couple of times explain about the what exactly we are trying to covering about, what is our agenda, all these things. So the main motive is to not to pull the candidates to the batches. Whatever we do, that is only we'll try to give a promise to the candidates. Okay, we don't want to give the false promises to the students. Again, you should not be disappointed that this is done. It is. So that is what exactly we have to understand. Okay. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon in the tomorrow session. I tomorrow link it is going to be changed. Those who are going to get registered for them, we are trying to provide the links. So you guys contact to the me or my team number also I'll give there. So they will also come with you. And I will say, if you need any help, you can contact to them. They will help you regarding the curriculum, whatever you required. If I'm not picking the calls, I'm not responding to your messages. So you guys can contact to this number. It is 83 173. Okay. And 37. Go to the 694. It is. This is the my team contact number. His name is Kalyan. He will taking care of registrations, everything. He will taking care of it is. Okay. So this is all about my today's session. Okay. And tomorrow I'll catch you guys. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can mute yourself and you can ask. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. I'll see you in the tomorrow session.